Hello all, hope you are doing great and we are back again, this time with Chandrashekhar Datye, who is a senior most teacher in Vipassana Pune Institute. And we are happy that Pune Vipassana Institute has collaborated with Vaman Matters. So today's topic is about spreading the benefits of Vipassana. And let me tell you all, like Vipassana is a 2,500 years old meditation technique developed by Gautam Buddha. And today we are going to speak about the benefits of Vipassana. And let's start this interview. Thank you so much, sir, for coming here today. Uh, I
Welcome.
will start. I will start with this first question. Like, what is exactly Vipassana?
Okay. Vipassana is a very old meditation technique from ancient India. Vipassana is a Pali word. Pashyana means to see, to observe, and Vipassana is to observe it in a special way. What's a special way? That is seeing it as it truly is, not as it appears to be. Also means insight. As you just heard, that this technique was rediscovered by Gautama Buddha about 25 centuries back. And since then, it is considered as Buddha's main teaching. What happened after 5 centuries after his passing away was the technique was lost to the common man in India and also the rest of the world. But fortunately, this priceless teaching was maintained in its pure form by a chain of teachers passing on this technique to their disciples and their disciple passing on to the next generation and so on and so forth. Now the last person in this chain, Sri S.N. Goenka, my teacher, is one of them who was instrumental in bringing it to India and then spreading it to the whole world. His contribution is really great and beyond imagination. Why? Not just because he spread Vipassana, but he spread Vipassana, Buddha's teaching, to householders in a very simple, easy to learn way. Help people to learn and take the benefit of Vipassana meditation. By the way, do you know that this year is his birth centenary year? So this session is something that is quite useful and unique and a tribute to him. Now, thanks to him, I could learn Vipassana and so could so many others. This is the background, historical background about Vipassana. Now, let's see what's the purpose of Vipassana. As the name suggests, we should be able to see things as they are, not as they appear to be. So, purpose of Vipassana is to develop a deep insight into the nature of reality, particularly the nature of one's own mind, matter, existence, and the impermanent nature of all things that exist in this universe. I do that. The main reason for that is to change the habit pattern of mind, a habit pattern that is the main hindrance having a calm, tranquil, and balanced mind, a happy and peaceful mind. All of us are aspiring for that. And that is the reason why Vipassana meditation needs to be practiced. The purpose is to gain a clear understanding of the mind matter phenomena, the mental and physical experiences, and their interconnectedness. Now, we all know that with a calm and balanced mind, we can face any situation, also live a happy, fulfilling life. That's what we all want. For that, what do? We use our natural breath and bodily sensations as object of meditation. We train our mind to observe them mindfully and observe them just as they are manifesting. This helps to change the habit pattern of mind, develop insight, wisdom, equanimity, and then break the cycle of suffering. Now, to break this habit pattern or to change this habit pattern, what's needed is first we need to observe and understand the habit pattern of mind, and then only we can change it. We have developed a very strong habit, blindly reacting to situation and challenges in life, both pleasant and unpleasant. Now, the change that you notice or you start getting noticed, it starts getting noticed, is the conscious responding to them and with awareness. Now, Vipassana meditation can be learned in a 10-day residential course. Any adult who has no major physical or mental health issues can join the course. In India, there are more than 100 centers and additionally 100 more centers abroad where Vipassana courses are regularly conducted. The rules, regulations, code of conduct, timetable, all are designed so that the participants can get maximum benefit of those 10 days. The rules are the same everywhere. You must have heard the rule about noble silence, no talking, no phones, no books to read, no TV, no newspaper, no talking to fellow participants, no communication whatsoever, not even with signs and gestures. There's a reason for that. We are so used to being extrovert that in the course we first have to train our mind to look within. All these things are big distractions, obstructions. If our focus is not within, how can we observe and understand how the mind works? And if we can't understand how the mind works, how can we change it? Another thing about the course, they are absolutely free of charge, no fees for stay, food, or teaching. This is not to attract people, but there's a reason for that. To maintain the purity of the teaching and accessibility to all, there should be no profit motive. There should be no commercialization. Now, this policy is not only in India, followed throughout the world. So these are the basic starting points to know more about Vipassana.
This, like in today's world, it is like a very competitive world we live in. A lot of competition exists, and in that world, which is filled with so much competition, why we need Vipassana to practice in our day-to-day life?
Very good question, because Vipassana is actually a thing which is a practical thing. Vipassana is not about finding peace and solace like a recluse, like a sadhu or a monk, but it offers a practical tool to face the day-to-day challenges, face them with greater wisdom and equanimity. If you see today's world and the challenges that we are facing today, what are they? Immediately, what comes to your mind is a time, target, goals. There's a need to prove oneself against competition. There is a desire to be acknowledged and appreciated. External validations, recognition. Take any one of them. What do they lead to? They lead to anxiety, stressful situations, and at times even depression. They affect your performance, they affect your ability to give your best, they affect your mental and physical health. Take any profession or any area. where you're working, whatever you're doing, when can you be really efficient, effective, and productive at your best? When you're stressed and agitated, or when you're calm and balanced? The answer is very obvious, isn't it? Just an intelligent and sharp mind is not enough. You need a mind that is alert, very calm, very balanced, a mind that can assess the situation correctly and take appropriate decisions. Is what is the key, whatever be the area of your work, right from the junior most person in the setup to the top boss. And sometimes when you are agitated, stressed, you need something, some tool, some method that can calm you down, reduce your stress and anxiety in a very short, say, matter of minutes. And then you can really come back to your best. Vipassana practice can help you in that. Today, in the highly competitive world, stress and anxiety are two main issues. Vipassana can help you manage the stress, anxiety by developing mindfulness and equanimity and lead to a alert, calmer, focused frame of mind that gives you the strength to face any situation that you may encounter. Let me give you an example during the COVID pandemic. During the COVID pandemic in the COVID care centers, we had trained the patients who were stuck there because of COVID. They were trained to practice the first part of Vipassana course, which is Anapan meditation. And with that meditation, they could find the balance of mind because many times these patients were more worried about what will happen to them than the actual impact of COVID infection or whatever you call it. What happened after that is they become so calm and quiet that their recovery was much faster. This is how it can handle any situation. Now, there are several examples, but this is just one to give you an idea. Now, let's look at what are the other areas in this competitive world where Vipassana can be helpful, effective. The first and the most important thing is enhance your ability. Anything that you want to do, whether it is profession, sports, art, wherever you go, what is needed today to have an ability to focus on the job in the hand. Able to focusing that is a priceless. Now, in the fast-paced, technology-driven world, this is all the more required. Sometimes, let's say you're using a mobile phone for some work, wrong button is pressed. A lot of very difficult things can happen. Why not develop this skill to focus on the job that you have in it? Social media distraction is also one of the big issues in whatever we are doing. And there also we need the ability to concentrate, focus, so that we can be our best. Another area where we need to strengthen our ability is the ability to face the setbacks and challenges. Vipassana can help you handling the emotional issues and difficulties with greater equanimity and balanced approach to a healthier work personal life balance, reduced negative effects of excessive competition. But this is also something that can bring forth your best. One more thing that's very, very important is self-awareness and clarity of mind. Vipassana can help you in that area too. Help you make better decisions, sound decisions. And that's a very crucial skill for success. Vipassana meditation is actually about transformation and personal. In the competitive world, personal growth is often a key factor in achieving work satisfaction, success, and fulfillment. Don't forget, Practice of Vipassana requires dedication, time to get its full benefit. Vipassana is not only useful in today's world, today's competitive world, but equally useful and helpful at all times, in all situations, now and even in future.
Along with this, I want to add one more question, which says that according to Vipassana, what is spirituality, and why, like centuries back, Gautam Buddha, who was formerly known as Siddhartha, why this legendary person felt the need to develop Vipassana? Like, can you explain people these two things?
Sure, I'll answer your second question first. Why did Gautam Buddha felt the need to develop Vipassana? All of us have heard his story when he was a prince. He was born as a prince, the life of luxury and privileges of a prince. The king, his father, provided him with everything that would keep him happy, away from suffering. What happened? When he went out and saw the world outside, what he saw was not what he had experienced in the palace. He saw all types of suffering. He was struck by the sickness, old age, disease, death that exists in human life universally. He was deeply troubled by that. He realized that material wealth and comforts will not provide lasting happiness. He started wondering, why should there be suffering and unhappiness in human life? Is there no solution? Is there no way out? The realization of this universal truth, the truth of suffering, made a big impact on him. And that prompted him to start his spiritual journey. He wanted to find out the true cause, the real reason for all the sorrow and suffering in our life. And he was strongly wanting to find out a solution for that. He left his home in that search, and Vipassana, the outcome. Siddhartha Gautam discovered the laws of nature that are responsible for suffering. And he also discovered the laws of nature that can help people come out of suffering. So he realized both the cause of suffering and the path to come out of it. He first tried that technique, that method on himself, and came out of all his suffering, became fully liberated from all bondage. He then started teaching to others. He taught what he had learned, practiced, and perfected. His method of teaching was quite different from person to person. The type of teaching the teaching was essentially the same, but the way he taught was ideally suited for the person who was there to learn it from him. Sometimes he used to give elaborate explanations, while for some, the guidance was just a few sentences, and that was sufficient for them. What he continued to say all the time was essentially, I teach two things. One, that there is suffering, and the other, that there is a way out of it. A way to come out of all suffering by changing the habit pattern of mind right from the root. Vipassana became the path to address the profound questions and challenges of human existence. And it also is a solution to the problem of suffering, a way, a path to eradicate them and come out of them. We all know that many philosophers have spoken about ending the suffering, about the nature's law. But what is the speciality of Buddha? He showed us a practical path, a practical way which any person can follow and come out of this. That's the uniqueness of his teaching. Now, looking at what is spirituality according to Vipassana. Spirituality True spirituality or adhyatma is a deep personal exploration of the nature of reality, mostly about mind matter relation and one's own existence. Whatever be the philosophy or ideology, religious belief or faith, the paths and approaches may be different. But ultimately, this is what is spirituality for anyone, for all. True spirituality is an internal journey. True spirituality is to discover the truth about oneself through one's own experience. It's a process of know thyself, Atmajnan. Vipassana is exactly that. Vipassana is to know yourself through your own self experience. And the purpose is to come out of all bondages. It's a deeply personal and experiential journey. It involves self discovery, inner transformation, and development of insight and wisdom. It provides a framework for understanding the nature and reality of mind matter. The ultimate goal is to transcend suffering and find lasting peace or liberation. It's a self exploration or insight into self. As in Pali words, it says Yatha Bhut Jnana Darshan. It is gaining the knowledge, observing the knowledge, experiencing the knowledge as it unfolds. And this is done moment by moment, serving, learning through self experience. What is happening within? This journey normally starts from a superficial, gross level experiences and step by step moves to settler levels and finally reaches the settlest level. Journey to discover the essence, who and what we are, and the experience of its ever changing nature. You can actually have some aspects or some, what can you say, some topics about Vipassana, which we can talk about Vipassana and spirituality with reference to Vipassana. The most important thing is transcending ego. In Vipassana, it involves transcending ego or the sense of a separate, unique existence of self. By observing the impermanence of all mental, physical phenomena, we come to the understanding there is no unchanging, permanent self. And this realization leads to a sense of freedom, sense of liberation, bondages, and suffering. Another very important aspect of Vipassana spirituality could be considered as understanding suffering. Vipassana is understanding of suffering, dukkha, as Buddha used to call it, to recognize the cause of suffering, particularly the craving and aversion patterns, and also the freedom from this, the path to spiritual growth and liberation. Cultivating wisdom. Now, this wisdom is not bookish knowledge, practical self-earned experience, which in Pali is called panya or prajna in Marathi and other Indian languages. This too has to be gathered, developed through a direct experience and insight, not merely by a blind faith, a conceptual belief system. Another important aspect of Vipassana is mindfulness and presence, living in this present moment with awareness, equanimity, free from distractions of past and future. This is a very important aspect about Vipassana. With Vipassana, you develop two unique qualities which are not so common in this society. One is compassion, karuna, and other one is loving kindness, metta. So not only towards the people who are dear and near to you, but for all beings. It's going beyond your small circle of associates. Ultimately, spirituality in Vipassana is to attain a state of liberation from negativities, defilements, the causes of all suffering, and be in a state of peace, contentment, and wisdom. But you should always remember just intellectual understanding or knowing theories or concepts, preachings that we have been hearing is not good enough. Each person has to experience it himself. That is spirituality of Vipassana.
One more, like, not, but to be honest, like, this explanation was a very beautiful explanation you gave now. And there are, like, for today's generation, there are job commitments and as well as relationship or family commitments. And in that, how a person can manage to excel in Vipassana. In fact, how you manage to do it, like you also have a family, you also have job commitments.
That's a very practical question. Yes, very practical question. Yes, it is a challenge. No doubt it is a challenge. Not easy. But with dedication and careful planning, certainly it is possible. You always have to remember that Vipassana is a middle path, balanced approach. Balanced approach towards your family, towards your job commitment, towards your personal growth. Unless we have this balance, we would never be able to excel in any field, not just Vipassana, but even the practical field outside. And you always also know that things that you like, activities that you like, the things that interest you, you will always find time for that. Now, if it is an activity like Vipassana, which can give you so many benefits, who would not put in time and effort? But then there are certain strategies, certain methods you can use to help be persistent and develop in Vipassana, which is common actually for all activities. First, establish a routine of your daily practice and periodically updating, refreshing yourself in the Vipassana. This is one thing which is very, very essential. You learn once and you feel that you will get developed in a particular area. That's not possible. You have to keep on practicing. You have seen that in sports, you have seen that in industry, you have seen that in any field. You need to have your own practice, strengthen your qualities in that particular area, and keep on growing. Another thing that's very important is give priority to your regular practice. Yes, you have job commitments, you have other social responsibilities, you have responsibility towards your family, you have responsibility the way you're doing. But you don't forget to give priority to your practice. Very important, as important as your other activities. This is the key to development in Vipassana. Vipassana is actually a way of Vipassana would not be Vipassana if it is not getting reflected in your day-to-day life, in your daily life, at home, at your workplace, in the society. Have mindfulness and keep applying Vipassana principle in whatever way, whatever you are doing. Another thing that is very, very important is to be kind and patient with yourself. We have a very strong mindset which has got formed over so many years, maybe a few life cycles. It's very important that balancing family, work, meditation is not easy. Accept it as a part of life and don't be too hard on yourself. If something slips up, just correct it. Don't feel too bad about it. Like Vipassana, as we said before, is not something that you do as a recluse in solitude, away from the society. That is done only once a year when you go for a course, take a break from your routine activities and join a 10-day retreat. But that's not every day. Vipassana is not an escape. You don't run away from your day-to-day responsibilities and commitments. Balancing your daily practice, regular practice, and your priorities and responsibilities is the key to success. That is what is going to help you excel and grow not only in Vipassana, in all walks of life.
The most important question is that what, according to senior most Vipassana practitioners who are practicing Vipassana from decades, what according to them is meaning of life?
That's again a very good question. Uh, the aim or meaning of life may vary from person to person. It's a very personal, specific aim. And that's true even for those who have participated in Vipassana meditations for many years. Vipassana is a deeply personal, introspective practice, and the insights and realizations can be highly personal. But there are a few common things which people mention as their aim or objective. The practice is focused on self awareness and insight. But what people also aim is to have freedom from suffering, freedom caused by the attachment and ignorance. Many times, the Vipassana practitioner reports a deep understanding of the cause of human suffering, and along with that comes the commitment to liberate themselves from it. The ultimate goal for them is total freedom from suffering. Another aim could be inner peace, a sense of inner peace and tranquility, a peaceful, balanced mind, irrespective of external circumstances, irrespective of the challenging situation, irrespective of favorable or unfavorable. Another aim people mention is self realization. Through continuous self observation, mindfulness, realizing the true nature of mind matter phenomena, often described as a state of non attachment, equanimity, freedom from ego or self identity. Another thing many people express as their aim is compassion and service to humanity. With Vipassana, one develops compassion, goodwill, loving kindness towards all beings. And many would like to express it as selfless service to others, contributing to the well being of the humanity. Many feel mindful living is their objective, and that is what can give them deep appreciation of simple joys of transcending ego and the illusion about a separate self. Many find that this is their goal and a path to realize. But if you really see what ultimately is the aim of human life, isn't it to be happy, live peacefully, harmoniously, and fulfilling life? A lifestyle that is good for oneself and good for others. Isn't it a universal aim and purpose of life? Not just for Vipassana meditation, but for all of us. All great sages and saints have tried to teach us this very thing. They may have expressed in different ways, they may have asked us to do different things, but the essence is the same.
Why Vipassana includes people of all faith? Why is that much important to include people of all faiths, and why Vipassana is not restricted only to Buddhist people only, because it was started by Gautam Buddha? What is the story behind that?
That's also a good question. What is Vipassana? It's a come out of suffering, and live a happy, peaceful, productive life. In Vipassana, we learn the universal laws of nature, the laws related to our body mind phenomena, their interrelationship, its ever changing, impermanent nature. And that is the base of Vipassana practice. And we all know that laws of nature are universal and applicable to one and all, to all beings. They are not for any specific sect or a section of society. The cause for misery and suffering is universal, and so is the technique to come out of it. These laws apply to one and all, irrespective of religious faith and beliefs, irrespective of caste and creed, irrespective of gender, language, or nationality, irrespective of time and space. Teachings are secular, non sectarian, with no rites and rituals. Buddha also taught Vipassana. Whoever was willing and ready to learn, no one was left out. The same is true even today. Anyone can learn Vipassana and get benefited by practicing. Vipassana is a way of life, universal to one and all, no restrictions at all. It's a universal path. If it's a universal path, how can it be restricted to just one community or a sect, say a Buddhist? It may be interesting to know that what Buddha taught was not called Buddhism, it was called Dhamma, the law of nature, rule of the universe. That was not called Buddhist teaching. The word Buddhist or Buddhist teaching does not appear in the original teaching of Buddha, the Tripitaka. The word Buddhist got coined a few centuries after passing away of Buddha. So, in essence, Vipassana is a technique that can easily be integrated into any religious spiritual belief, or it can even be practiced independent by those who do not follow any particular. It is universal, secular, non-sectarian in nature. Its practical teachings are anyone can develop greater mindfulness, wisdom, inner peace. The background is not important. Any person from any background can learn it and benefit from it.
Here we see that during the course, people like those non-Buddhist folks are told to speak this Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. So many, like most, especially Buddhist people say this Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, that big quote. So like how do non-Buddhist people find it comfortable, or why they do not have any problem to say this during the course? What is the thought process behind that?
Very good. Nobody has really expressed any problems accepting it. Now, during Vipassana course, participants do recite the three jewels or the three refuges in Pali. They do it because they understand its correct meaning and purpose. That's important. It's not something which is done without understanding. Now, let's look at them one by one. For them, in the course, the three jewels are very well explained. And it no longer remains just a rite or a ritual or just chanting. Let's take the first one, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. I take refuge in Buddha. What does it mean? It means that I take refuge in the qualities of Buddha. Now, during this process, even the qualities of Buddha are explained elaborately in the course. And who would not like to take those qualities? You have to have a particular belief system to do that. Not necessary. Similarly, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami. I take refuge in Dhamma. What is Dhamma? Dhamma is nature's law, the teaching of Buddha. Who would not like to do that? If he is teaching you to come out of your misery, you would be more than willing to do it. You. Same thing with Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. I take refuge in the Sangha, in the community or a group of practitioners who have reached a certain level of excellence in the Sangha. They have certain qualities. And who would not like to have those qualities? They are all good qualities. They are universal in nature, beyond any sect or community. But when you just chant it without understanding, yes, it could be a problem, but that's not so in the Vipassana. This is very clearly, elaborately explained during the evening discourses that are there. The purpose of chanting is actually surrendering to the noble qualities of Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Trying to appreciate them, get inspired, so that we can try to imbibe them in us. After understanding the reason and meaning, why would anyone have hesitation in accepting them? They are not mere chantings. It's more of a resolve to imbibe those good qualities, those noble qualities of Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha in us. So nobody really has any problem with that. Okay?
What are the miracles associated with Vipassana? Can you share any few miracles like people experience who practicing Vipassana from decades and for many years, whom you know personally?
Okay. Normally, what do we call a miracle? Miracle is an event or occurrence, normally positive, of which we may not have a explanation or a reasoning, or we do not know a logical cause for that. For example, let's say a magician. Whenever he performs a magic or a magic he shows, it's no magic for him because he knows what is making it happen. What is it? What are the reasons? What are the causes for that? Any miracle, any magic that a magician himself performs is no magic or miracle for him. It may be magic for the spectators, but not for him. Because he knows fully well what he is doing, how and why that is happening. Because here you need to understand one thing. Nothing can ever happen against the law of nature. We may not know the law of nature, so we may feel that it's a miracle. It's true that there are many effects, many changes, many transformations that you see with Vipassana that may look as miracles or at times will appear as supernatural occurrences. They may call them miracles, but actually they are just unexpected, uncommon, just remarkable transformations, changes, events. Let me share with you some of the day-to-day remarkable changes, transformations that you may feel are miracles. Many people have given up their long-standing addictive habits, be drinking, maybe smoking, be drugs. That may look like a miracle because they have been trying for so many years and nothing was happening. And after a Vipassana course or after one or two, they could easily give it up. It may look like a miracle. It's no miracle because there are certain reasons why that happened. And that's something which you understand in the Vipassana. Many people share that they have better control over their negative emotions like anger, anxiety, fear, irritants. All these may look like miracles. I'm just sharing some of the spectacular changes or transformations. And people feel it's miracle. Improved interpersonal relationship, family, friends, colleagues. And this is because of the self-awareness, emotional balance, equanimity, compassion. And this too may look like a miracle. Reduce stress and reduce stress-related ailments, a sense of calm and mental well-being. emotional stability, significant improvement in the sense of emotional well-being and balance. This too may look like a miracle because this has never happened before. Greater clarity, better focus, resulting in much better improvement in the performance and ability to deliver both in personal and professional. This too may look like a miracle. Spiritual transformation, a shift in the understanding of nature of reality, the self, the interconnectedness of all things. Many physical ailments, sometimes after Vipassana course, just disappear. People get relief from certain physical ailments or chronic pain, and they feel it's a miracle. It's not really, you may call it a miracle, but it's not really a miracle. It's all happening by the well-defined laws. After learning and practicing Vipassana, you will know and understand very clearly why and how these things are happening, how these remarkable things are happening. In Vipassana, the focus is on practical, transformative effect on the mind and the individual. So, everything is happening as per nature's law. Nothing is really a miracle. It looks miraculous, yes.
What real efforts we need to put till spreading Vipassana to till those people who do not know about Vipassana, and how we can like include people from rural areas, like rural distant areas. What do you have in your mind about that?
Yes, it's very true that this very useful and priceless teaching is not available to large population of people. They know nothing about Vipassana, nor have they taken a course to learn Vipassana. Surely, they need to get to know about it. And if they get interested, they can join a course and learn Vipassana. Spread of Dhamma, as it is called, a spread of Vipassana teaching, will always be an ongoing process. But the most effective way is the word of mouth, or by seeing someone who has done a Vipassana and transformations taking place in that becomes really inspiring. But in spite of this, there are different levels, there are different stages of letting people know about it. Many initiatives have been taken so far, and more people are getting to know about it. Let me tell you about two projects which are going on, and they have a widespread reach. The first one is called Mitra project. Mitra stands Mind in Training for Right Awareness. What does that mean? This is an initiative for school and college students and teachers. What's the problem faced by the students today? Their minds are not. A lot of distractions, lot of issues, stress, tensions. Like many times we hear from the students that I made silly mistake. Now, what's a silly mistake? Silly mistake is you knew the answer, but you read the question differently, answered differently, and lost your marks. It's not that they don't understand, they don't have the intellect. It's just that their mind is not there. It has gone somewhere else that time, and they made that silly mistake. Now, for this, government has identified this as a big problem for the stability of mind, the wavering mind. They have introduced this as a joint venture, joint initiative with Vipassana Center. Now, here the students are given an orientation in Anapan, the first part of Vipassana, and asked to practice on a daily basis. It's found that if they practice regularly, just in a few months, the differences can be noticed. And this is one project where anyone can contribute because you know schools, your family members, someone from the family is going to the schools. You have gone to some school. You can plan to start that in that school. One school with 400, 500, even less number of students, it can be a really beneficial thing for the society. The peace, harmony that will come in the school, the excellence that will keep on improving is something which is a big contribution any one of us can do. Other project is called Happy Village. Like in Mitra, the unit is considered as one. Similarly, in Happy Village, the unit is considered as one village. Everyone from that village, about the age of 10, is given Anapan orientation. and asked to practice on a regular basis. This started as a de-addiction program as a joint initiative, the Government Health Department and Vipassana Center. But the results were far beyond addictions. Yes, addiction was reduced substantially, but there were many, many other benefits which were noticed. There was more harmony and peace, health improved, the fights within the villages got reduced. Now, anyone can be a part of this project. Also, there are many in-person or online Anapan Vipassana introduction session which can be organized for a specific group or people in general. This also gives them an idea, also give them a small 10-minute practice session of Anapan so that they can get a feel of what they can expect from the course. That is something which anyone can organize. The people from Vipassana Center nearby can come and support you. Today, social media can play a big role. It is already playing a big role and it can still continue to play a much bigger role. It's one avenue which is growing where it can reach out to a large number of people, at least giving them a conceptual idea about what Vipassana is, how and where they can learn it, and what could be the benefits of them. Newer avenues also may come up in future. So there are different ways in which we should try to reach out to people so that they also get the benefit of Vipassana. But the most one is the word of mouth and actually seeing someone who has done a course. The starting point could be first do the course, start practicing, may your life be the marketing, the representative.
This is the last question, and we will end our interview here. Why there was the need to establish Vipassana Research Institute? Why, in fact, research was important to be done into Vipassana, and what are the essential research work is done by VRI, Vipassana Research Institute? Please share with people.
Satyanarayana Goenka thought that just conducting courses is very important but not sufficient. We also need an authentic of the teachings of Gautam. Vipassana Research Institute was founded with the sole purpose of conducting research related to Vipassana meditation, the teachings of Buddha, the teachings of chain of teachers from Buddha till today, including Sri Satyanarayana Goenka. He was instrumental in spreading Vipassana to householders throughout the world in the present time. Now, these research projects are many. Let me list out a few. And Vipassana Research Institute has got recognition and approval from the Ministry of Human Resource, Government of India, teaching and research in Pali language and literature. It has also got a recognition and approval from Department of Science and Industrial Research as the only institute of its kind which integrates theoretical principles along with the practice of Vipassana. Another very important thing is it is approved by University of Mumbai for postgraduate studies in Pali and Buddhism. So these are some of the recognitions. But the primary focus, role, responsibilities, and activities of VRI is to preserve and promote the authentic teaching of Vipassana, the Pali Tipitaka, and to make these teachings accessible to the global audience. This has taken, these activities have been done to various things. One is a textual research, preservation, translation, publication of original Buddha's texts, discourses, especially related to Vipassana and Pali Tipitaka. Many teachings of Buddha are now more readily available to the scholars and practitioners. Historical research. Historical research has been done about Vipassana, the spread of this meditation technique, the development of the Vipassana technique over time. Then there is also one very important and very big work being done by the Institute, Research Institute, maintain a collection of texts and resources related to Vipassana and make them accessible to the scholars and practitioners for further research. They also do a lot of book publication so that it can be available in print form as well as in soft copy form. They conduct and support the training and education in Vipassana and Buddhist studies. They support the meditation courses and centers throughout the world, giving them the course resource materials and support technical as well as otherwise, whatever is required. Now, the research on the benefits of meditation, including Vipassana, is an ongoing research. It has been done, it's been done by several agencies, several places. New studies and findings are continuously emerging. And for those research findings, this would be too short a session to explain about that. But all that information is published on the VRI website. The official website is vridhamma.org. Maybe you can put it as a post here. And best thing is to refer to the academic and scientific publications published by VRI. Its role is basically ensuring that the literature and the information is authentic, matching with the basic teachings of Buddha with respect to Vipassana and the Buddha.
So this was one of the most fantastic reviews that we had, and thanks a lot to you, sir, that you spoke today from your busy schedule, and thanks even to Pune Vipassana Institute for officially giving the permission to this media platform to take the interview, and it really means a lot. Thank you so much. Sabka Mangal ho.
Thank you to you for organizing this. And we hope and pray that many, many more people will get the benefit of Vipassana and come out of their misery. May everyone be happy. Thank you.